Regan Slaymaker for International Boxing News, and I'm joined by the gentleman John Hedges at the Origin Gym. I mean, how's that session for you, mate?
Yeah, good session today. We had the main man Archie Slaymaker on the bags of us, you know what I mean? So he was putting her through our faces. That was good. It was we've all had a hard week this week. Me, Fletcher, Finley, we've all got plenty of sparring in. So yeah, it was nice to we smashed the bags, done a fair few rounds in there, circuit, nice warm up, and it was a good Friday session really. We're back in tomorrow for running. So after a good heavy week, that was what we needed today.
Definitely, mate. You're all working hard in here as well. Before we kind of jump into your next fight and your next steps, mate, I do want to touch on your 2023. Obviously, a bit riddled with injury this year, a bit annoying, but you had that one fight on the Joshua Franklin undercard. I mean, how do you look back on that fight, and how do you look back on 2023 in a whole?
So what? I took my first 8-rounder. Looking at it positively, we took my first 8-rounder on the biggest card I've been on. Obviously, the Joshua undercard, April the 1st. And in that sense, done 8-rounder as a 20-year-old, still a 20-year-old at the time. Good, solid fight, won every round with ease, and yeah, it was a decent opponent, 13-11. He had a good winning record, so yeah, it kind of put me in a good place for especially where I'm going on to next. And like I say, I'm glad it went the distance more than anything. Now I wanted to force a stoppage, but knowing I was getting my hand done and things like that, I had the injury. It was good that I got 8 rounds under the belt, and I'm going into another 8-rounder now.
Definitely. Obviously, we'll talk about that 8-rounder. Obviously, you're back on February the 10th as well against a really good opponent who's, I think, 20-5 as well. I've been reliably informed by my man over there. I mean, obviously, a big, strong start to 2024 and looking to gain that activity that you lost in 2023.
Yeah, exactly. I think when opponents were being sent over, it was kind of like, I'm moving into the Cruiserweight division now. Can't make championship a light heavy. It's literally, I'd have to chop my leg off. So we're moving up the cruiser. And like I said, the fellow, please God, I'm fighting as long as nothing changes. He's 25-120, good winning record, and a fair few stoppages, and he comes to win. So I think you're going to see the best of me when that happens. Do you know what I mean? I don't really like fighting negative fighters, so if I can have someone who's going to come, it's going to be entertaining for the fans, puts me in a good position as well. Do you know what I mean? It put a very good winning record on me on my CV.
Definitely. In 2024, can we see kind of yourself kind of gain that activity, gain that momentum, and then push on to titles maybe halfway through towards the back end of the year? Yeah,
1,000,000%. Definitely want a belt this year. Don't really. I've said it to my management. I know it sounds mad. Like, I'm a boxing fan, but I don't care what the belt is. I don't care if it's a youth title. I don't care if it's a Southern area. I do not care. I just want to strap around my waist by the end of the year. And that's the main thing. Like, even this opponent I'm fighting now, he's boxed for a few titles himself. So I'm pestering my management at the minute to get a title on the line. Do you know what I mean? I want to collect belts, collective belts and amateur. I want to do the same as a pro. So please God, you know what I mean?
Well, S-Jam, you heard the man. Get on it and get this man a title as well. Obviously, how has the recovery from the hand injury, wasn't it, as well? How has the recovery gone from that, mate?
Mate, to be fair, that I can't knock it. Like when I was first coming back, I was sparring Craig Richards. He'll tell you, I was getting a little bit frustrated with it because it just never still felt 100%. But they told me, like, when basically because your hand's in a cast for so long, all the other bones around it, they seize up. So although the injury was sweet, my hand was just fucking so tight and that. So it took a little while for it to loosen up. But got some good rounds in with Craig and that early doors, and now we're in the full sparring now, and it's not giving me no grief at all. So we're back.
Definitely. Well, we're glad to hear it, mate. I was doing a bit of digging as well, because I remember watching your pro debut during COVID, which was at Super-Middle, which was absolutely mental to say. But obviously you're entering your fourth year as a pro, I think, mate. I mean, how do you kind of look back on this time, obviously making that transition from the amateurs to the professional ranks?
Do you know what? I think, having said everything what's gone on and things like that, if it weren't for COVID, I probably wouldn't have turned professional as well. That's a definite, actually. I wouldn't have turned professional when I turned professional. I'd done a year in the AVAs, especially the year I didn't do. Fletcher's over there, he can hear what I'm saying. We would have absolutely smashed the AVAs, wouldn't we, Tom? Yeah, mate, if we'd done the AVAs that year, there was no hope for none of them, I'll be honest with you. So we would have liked to have both done the senior AVAs, but it was one of them things. COVID come around, and it was either, personally, the way I was looking is I would have ended up packing up and going to work and living normal. Do you know what I mean? So it was like, when I had that message from Sam Jones back in the day, I had to turn pro. I had no choice. So yeah, do you know what? Hindsight would have been a funny thing, but having 8 fights, 21, I'm in a good place and pushing on in the right direction now.
Is it still crazy to think that your debut was at Super-Middleweight?
Mate, it's absolutely mad, and I made championship. Like, it's disgusting. When you look at me on the scales, I honestly look like I've been through torture. It looks like my dad ain't fed me for a few years, but Do you know what I mean? It's one of them things, isn't it? Live and learn. I come in there like a stick insect, and within a week I was about 100 kilos, so I soon made up for it.
We can confirm that John Hedges' dad does feed him, and it was just for that one fight. John, John, that was my final question, mate. Any kind of final words for the John Hedges' army who's going to come see you on February the 10th?
We're back, strong, big performance, and like I say, we're not taking those shit opponents, we're taking real fights, and we're pushing up quick this year. We're going to have a big year. Get me right back in the mix. I'm sick to death of sitting down and not having been spoke about, so I want to put myself right in the firing range now and get my name out there.
What a way to end. John Hedges, thank you very much, mate. Best of luck February the 10th.
Thank you very
Cheers,
much,
mate.